All right, so we're going to start talking about different types of sequences, and there's two different types of sequences. We have something called an arithmetic sequence and then something called a geometric sequence. So this video is going to show you a little bit about an arithmetic sequence. So an arithmetic sequence is a series of numbers that have a common difference between one number to the next. So here's an example of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, this is an arithmetic sequence because if you notice, from one number to the next number, we're adding 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then you can figure out what the next number would be because if you added 2 to 9, you would get your next number in the sequence, which would be 11. Arithmetic sequences could increase like this, or they can decrease as well. So it could look something like this. Okay, this is an example of arithmetic sequence. So if you notice from 16 to 13, it goes down by 3. From 13 to 10, it goes down by 3. So the common difference in this arithmetic sequence is -3 because it's going down by 3. All right, so when you have an arithmetic sequence, you can calculate a certain term using the formula if you're looking at your packet on page 8, but I'll write it for you. So this formula here will allow you to find a certain term in the sequence. So the nth term. So let me give you an example of a sequence first. Let's throw another one up here. Let's do 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, here's our first arithmetic sequence. Now, each one number in the sequence is in a certain position. So because this number is in the first position, this is considered the first term of the sequence. So we call it A sub 1, first term. This number is in the second spot of the sequence. So this is A sub 2, second term. This number is in the third spot of the sequence. So A sub 3, and so on. So each number in the sequence has a certain position. This formula allows us to find any one of those numbers, as long as we know the first term of the sequence, the number of the term we're looking for, and the common difference. So if we look at this sequence, let's give it an example. Say I wanted to find the 100th term of the sequence. So you could definitely do this by hand, but it would take a long time. The easiest way to do this is to use this formula. So what we're looking for is the 100th term. I have the first term. So in this example, my first term is 1. My n is, I'm looking for the 100th term. So my n is 100. And then my common difference, it's increasing by 2 each time, up by 2, up by 2, up by 2, up by 2. So my common difference is +2. So I can now find the term that would sit in the 100th spot. So A sub n, A sub 100, the 100th term is equal to 1 plus 100 minus 1 times the common difference, which is 2. So my 100th term of my sequence is 199. So if I were to expand this out and I were to get all 100 terms, 199 would be sitting in the 100th spot. All right, so here's another example of an arithmetic sequence. We're going to find the 40th term of the sequence, and then it's given by this. All right, so first, I'm telling you this is arithmetic, but eventually when we see geometric, you have to be able to tell the difference between the two. So I know this is arithmetic because if I notice from 101 to 93, I'm going down by 8. And from 93 to 85, I'm going down by 8. And from 85 to 77, I'm going down by 8. If you can't see that right away, you can take one of your terms and then subtract it by the one prior to it. So if I do 93 minus 101, I'll get negative 8. If I did 85 minus 93, I get negative 8. So I can confirm that it's going down by 8 each time. All right, so now I need my formula. So the formula, let's put it at the top here, is a sub n is equal to first term, a sub 1 is first term, plus n minus 1 times the common difference. N is the number term we're looking for. D is the common difference. What's different from one term to the next? All right, so this one, my first term is 101. I'm looking for the 48th term. So my n is 48. And my common difference is negative 8. All right, so let's plug that into the formula, and then we'll grab the 48th term. So my 48th term is equal to 101 plus 48 minus 1 times my common difference, which is negative 8. Now, be careful. When the difference is negative, don't make it look like subtraction. This is still 48 minus 1 times negative 8. All right, so I know that my 48th term has to be smaller than my first term because my sequence is going down. So it shouldn't be a surprise that when you calculate this, you get negative 275. Because at some point, if we keep going down by 8, we have to pass the 0 and get into the negatives. All right, so we're going to give you a few of those to try. And you can ask me any questions on chat if you have a question.